Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is YAHMAD. So in this video, we will be looking at lesson 5 using if and nested functions in logical tests. And this is part 1. There will be a part 2 to this video as well, which I'll make after this one. And before we attempt this task, you need to make sure you're familiar with using some of these functions here. So extracting values from a text string. So we may need to use a left and a right. And in the last video, we looked at using and to have multiple logical tests. So we're going to be combining a few functions that we've learned already in this task here. So what do we have? In this first table, we have student codes, we have their names, and we need to check to see if they're entitled to a free lunch. Will they be coming to school and going home on a school bus? And are they entitled to a discount on their fees? And the conditions are based on the student code. So in the first example, to check to see if they're entitled for free lunch, we need to check to see if the code starts with 1 and ends in 2A's. So we're going to be extracting these values as text and comparing them in logical tests. And if both conditions are true, in this case, the code starts with 1 and ends in 2A's, then we will say yes if it's true. If it's not true, then we'll say no. So let's start, guys. So it's going to be equals if. And since we have two conditions, code starts with 1 and ends in AA, we need to use and. So both of these conditions have to be true. So logical 1, guys. So we need to extract the first value. So I'll need to type in left. Click on the text, comma 1, close the bracket, and is that equals to 1? So for now, we're going to be extracting this 1 as a text value. Later on, we'll be using a value function to extract as an integer, but that's for another video. So we first checking to see if the left value of this cell is equal to 1. And also, the second logical test, we're going to check if the last two values are equal to A. So now we need to use right. Click on the text again. We want to extract two characters. And is that equals to 2A's? Yeah. And if that's true, let's close the bracket for the and. We're back into the main if statement. And if it's true, we're going to say yes. Close the speech marks, yeah. And if that's not true, you can see the false is highlighted. If one of the conditions is not met or both are not met, then we will say no. So this is yes because the first value is equal to 1 and the last two values is equal to AA. Also for Ahmed, the first value is equal to 1, last two values equal to AA. So that should be yes. But for Ali, the first value is equal to 1, which is true, but the last two values is not. So therefore, this should be false. With the and, all of the conditions need to be true. So yes, Ali is not entitled to a free lunch. All right, let's do the school bus, and then we'll do the next example of the book names. So school bus starts with 4 and ends in BB. Okay, so pretty much what we did. Starts with 4, so let's have a look. It should be this one, and ends in BB. So Ika should be on a school bus, and Khalid as well. So we're kind of predicting what we're going to be doing before we started. So we have two logical tests. Let's use and. The first cell that we want to check is this. So we want to check the code again. And the first value is equal to 4. So starts with 4. So this cell, first value is equals to 4. So remember this, we're extracting from a text string. So we have to just leave the speech marks for now. We can use the value function. And I said that will be for another video. So it's the first value equal to 4. And also, it's the last values equals to BB. So let's click on the same text. We want to extract two values, close the bracket, and is that equals to BB. Let's close the bracket for the and, which returns us back to the if statement. Both of these conditions are true, then yes, they will be on a school bus. And if it's not true, you can see false now, no, they will not be on a school bus. And I forgot, let me just close that. the speech mark before the note. Okay, I've got the bracket to end if statement. There we go. So we should only see yes for Ika and Khalid. Yeah, that's right. Ika and Khalid. Okay, so just before we move on, so we have an if statement with and because we have two logical tests, and then in the and we have the extract functions left and right. So you can see we have a combination of functions to answer this question here. We will continue on with this task here, guys. We're getting to the point now where we can start using different functions to complete different activities. We could potentially do this as a VLOOKUP, but what we're going to be doing is if and nested functions. So let's start, okay? What we're going to do is equals if. So what we have, actually wait, before I start answering the question, in this table here we have the book code, and the book code will refer to the author here. So if the extracted value is equal to JKR, so I think the author code starts from here, then the author will be J.K. Rowling, okay? If it's SCC, which is this one here, so you can see the author code is midway through the function, then the author will be Suzanne Collins. If it's JDD, which is this one here, then it's going to be James Dashner, and this is going to be the false value. So we only have these three authors, okay? So I'll just highlight them. So we've got SCC again, JKR, JDD, so that's James Dashner, and so on. Yeah. So what we need to do is extract the author code. It's not from H6, it's from this cell here, H4, to work out the author. So if this is JKR, then the author will be from this cell here. Okay, so let's start. It's a bit confusing, but until we get into it, it should make sense. So equals if, and we need to extract some text. So I'm going to type in here mid. Okay, I'm going to click on this cell here. And what we want to do is extract from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, from the 6th value. So starting number is 6. And we want to extract 3 characters. Close the bracket, equals, whoops, JKR, because I looked at my table down here. JKR. If that's true, okay, or what we can do, we can reference this cell here. If the extracted value is equal to this value here, let's lock. Then what we're going to do is output J.K. Rowling, and we also want to lock this because we are going to be dragging down this formula. And if that's not true, we're going to check for another condition. So it's going to be like a nested if statement. So we're not yet at the false. We're going to do another if. And let's check this cell again. So we need to use mid. So we need to check the extracted values. If this cell here, and we want to extract from the 6th value, starting number, and we want to extract 3 characters. If that value is equals to the contents of this cell here, so SCC, so in the next example, catching fire, SCC, so let's click on this cell here, let's lock it. If that's true, okay, then what we want to output is Suzanne Collins. And let's lock this cell here. So if it's not J.K. Rowling or Suzanne Collins, then the author must be James Dashner. So for the last condition, we don't need to do a logical test. If it's not going to be J.K. Rowling or Suzanne Collins, then it has to be James Dashner. So let's click on James Dashner. Let's lock this cell here. Let's close all of the brackets. That's the first one. And the black one usually means we've closed all of the statements. Press enter. And we got J.K. Rowling here. Let's drag this down and see if this has worked. Suzanne Collins for the next two, because we have SCC, J.K. Rowling for this one, James Dashner for this one, JGD, so JDD, J.K. Rowling, you can see Suzanne Collins for this one, and JDD, James Dashner. Okay, so what we did was, for the logical test, we had to extract the middle values using the mid function and then compare them against this table here. Okay, so there's other methods of doing this. I'm thinking maybe could we have done a VLOOKUP potentially? Yeah, the VLOOKUP could have worked as well. Right, shop, extract a shop. Let me just see what this is saying. Shop code from not H6, H4 for the shop. So what I'm going to do is, let's look at the shop table. So AM, VI, and AB. So where is that information? It looks like it's here. Let me just highlight this. So AM, still going to be in the middle. So we've got AM for Amazon, VI for Virgin, and then the false will be AB. So A books. Yeah, this one here. So it has to be one of them three. Yeah. So the false again will be AB books, A or Abe books, if I'm mispronouncing it. So again, we're going to use an if statement. Okay, and we're going to be using the mid function to extract these values. We can't extract from the right because we have one more value at the end. So we have to use the mid function. So a bit of repetition now, guys. So equals if. So we'll start with Amazon. So type in here mid. So let's click on the cell here. This is a text, comma, start value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Starting from the ninth value, comma, and we want to extract only two values, close the bracket. And what we can also do is, you could have done this, guys, if that's equal to AM. In the last question, I was referencing a cell. If you want to do it like this, you can. I think I do prefer just to click on that cell and to lock it. Function F4. So if the extracted values from them using the mid function is equal to the contents of this cell, and if that's true, let's output Amazon. Or we can write Amazon in speech marks. It's up to you guys. Let's lock that, comma. We have another if statement, so let's keep going. So if, now we need to use the mid function again. Do you know what? I'm going to copy and paste this. If the extracted values is equals to now the contents of this cell, which is VI, it's lock. And if that's true, then we want to output Virgin. Okay, let's lock that cell as well, comma. And if the shop is not Amazon or Virgin, the false value will be A books. Let's lock that one, close the brackets, back to the black one. And just before we finish, so AM should return Amazon, VI should return Virgin, and then this one should return A books. Yeah, A books, Virgin, Amazon, A books. Okay, so guys, what we've done, just to recap, in this example, we used and we used two logical tests, extracting from the left and the right. Okay, and in this example here, we used the mid function, and it was a nested if statement using the contents of this table here as well. So we're basically focused on using if statements and also embedding functions for the logical tests. Okay, I think we've come to the end of this video. Please join me in the next video, and we'll be looking at part 2. And I'm also going to be looking at not if as well. Okay, thank you for your time, guys. Please drop your comments below. I hope this video helps in your revision. Take care. Bye-bye.